In the grand lineage of the Hollis family, an unexpected heirloom emerged, a grandiose antique mirror. A relic of the past, its ornate frame exuded an eerie charm that captivated the Hollises. The mirror's arrival marked a significant addition to the sprawling Hollis estate, finding its place in the grand hall of the ancestral mansion. As the mirror settled into its new surroundings, whispers of its past began to surface. Legends spoke of a curse attached to this antique piece, tales that painted the mirror as a harbinger of doom. They said that those who dared to peer into it would catch a glimpse of their impending fate, but the Hollis family, skeptical yet intrigued, dismissed these ominous tales. To them, these were nothing more than folklore, stories spun from the threads of superstition and fear. After all, it was just a mirror, a reflection of reality, not a doorway to the unknown. As whispers of an ominous curse began to circulate, the Hollis family dismissed these tales as mere folklore. It wasn't long before the mirror's eerie charm revealed itself in unsettling incidents. The first to experience this spectral phenomenon was Emma, the youngest of the Hollis siblings. As she peered into the mirror, her youthful reflection aged before her eyes. Wrinkles etched themselves onto her face, as if she were witnessing an accelerated timeline of her own mortality. Terrified, she recoiled, attributing the occurrence to a trick of light, or perhaps a trick of her own mind. Yet the mirror was far from finished. Jonathan, the patriarch of the Hollis family, found himself ensnared by its curse. As he looked into the mirror, he saw himself swallowed by shadows, his figure slowly withering away into nothingness. His wife, Margaret, shared a similar grim fate. Her reflection morphed into a melancholic scene of a funeral procession, her own deathly pale face staring back at her, surrounded by an assembly of mourners. The mirror's malevolent influence didn't stop at these harrowing visions. Nightmares began to plague the family, each dream mirroring the terrifying visions they'd seen in the mirror. Sleep became a luxury they could no longer afford, as each night brought with it fresh horrors. The family found themselves trapped in a waking nightmare, haunted by their own impending doom. As each day passed, the sense of desperation within the Hollis family grew. Their attempts to rid themselves of the mirror were in vain. It seemed as though the mirror was bound to the Hollis estate, an inseparable part of their ancestral home. They sought the counsel of experts, hoping for a way to break free from the mirror's curse. Yet, they were only met with grim warnings of a force that lay beyond their understanding. The mirror, they were told, had a hunger for souls, and with each gaze into its reflective surface, its appetite only grew. A growing sense of dread permeated the Hollis estate as the family realized the curse was tightening its grip. The mirror, it seemed, was inexorably bound to the Hollis estate. The Hollis family soon realized that the mirror was not an ordinary heirloom. It was a malevolent entity, a dark force that refused to be ignored. They tried to banish it, to remove it from their home, but to no avail. The mirror stood resolute, its ornate frame an unyielding testament to its unbreakable bond with the estate. In their desperation, the Hollises sought the counsel of experts, historians, antique dealers, even spiritualists. The responses were always the same, veiled warnings of a dark force beyond their comprehension. It seemed the mirror was not merely reflecting their fears, it was feeding on them. Indeed, the mirror's hunger for souls was insatiable. Each gaze into its reflective surface served to fuel its power, its malevolent energy growing with every passing moment. The family was trapped, their fate entwined with that of the mirror. The mirror was not a mere object, it was a vessel for a vengeful spirit. Determined to break the curse, the Hollises delved into the dark recesses of their family history. Their search was not in vain. They unearthed a lineage marred by mysterious disappearances, tales of ancestors who vanished without a trace. Each story, a chilling echo of the other, was intertwined with the malevolent mirror. They discovered that the mirror was not simply an object but a vessel for a vengeful spirit seeking restitution for past wrongs. The family, desperate yet determined, turned to a long-lost diary. It was a chronicle of their ancestors' dealings with the mirror, and it held the secret to communicating with the spirit. With courage bolstering their hearts, they performed the ritual. The grand hall, once a symbol of their affluence, now became a stage for their confrontation with the unknown. As they chanted in unison, the room filled with an otherworldly presence. The air seemed to thicken, and a chill swept through the hall. The spirit was manifesting, its ethereal form shimmering in the mirror's reflective surface. It spoke in a chilling voice, recounting a tale of betrayal and sorrow that had echoed through the generations. The Hollises listened, their hearts heavy with the weight of their forebears' transgressions. The spirit's tale was a mirror of its own, a reflection of the pain and suffering that had bound it to the physical world. The Hollises, their eyes open to the terrible truth, felt a deep sense of empathy and regret. They found themselves mourning not only for their ancestors, but also for the spirit, a victim of their family's past. The Hollises, armed with newfound knowledge, pleaded for mercy and vowed to break the cycle of suffering. They promised to honor the spirit, to ensure its tale was remembered and its pain acknowledged. They vowed to break the cycle, to no longer turn a blind eye to the shadows of their past. It was a plea for redemption, not just for the spirit, but for themselves. It was their path to redemption, a chance to right the wrongs of their ancestors and free the spirit from its mirror prison. As the spirit considered their plea, the oppressive weight of the curse began to lift. The air, once thick with a palpable sense of dread, seemed to lighten. The mirror, the once menacing vessel for a vengeful spirit, reverted to being just an object, its ominous allure fading away. No longer did it hold a terrifying window into impending doom, but merely reflected the world as it was, ordinary and unchanged. The Hollis family, having endured a harrowing ordeal, made a collective decision. The mirror, despite its return to benignity, was to be locked away. It was a choice born not out of fear, but out of respect. Respect for the spirit that had been trapped within and for the tragic history it represented. The Hollis family, forever changed by the ordeal, stood in their quiet mansion, their grand hall now a testament to the enduring legacy of the mirror's reflection, a tale of redemption and release from the clutches of a malevolent force.